Be happy to try and answer it.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Paul.
I have a lot of trouble with non-judgment of self and others, and I wonder if you could talk about that.
Well, I actually talk about that quite a bit. I mean, look, it gets back to something that I mention all the time. We live in a world where you have 8 billion people, and every single one of them sees a completely different reality. And we all try to fit other people's realities into our own reality. And of course, it doesn't work. It's just conflict because we're up against people's ego, their mind, their opinions, their rightness, what they think is right or wrong. They're totally being enmeshed in a world of illusion. And then bringing that world of illusion to us. And yes, we want to defend ourselves. We want to be right in a situation. But I think the answer to the question is very simple, Paul. We have to listen to other people. And instead of knowing better than them, we have to listen to them and learn from them, learn what we have to do inside ourselves to grow. And if their energy forces us to be judgmental, doesn't matter if we're right or wrong. That's what we have to learn. We have to get free of sitting in judgment of other people. And I think that's an amazing lesson to learn. And we can learn it if we suddenly just defer to them and listen to them. Let them, in all their foolishness and all their stupidity and everything, let them be our teachers about what we need to learn to grow and how we can use whatever it is they're teaching us to get closer to our own spiritual enlightenment. And you get closer to your own spiritual enlightenment by just becoming non-judgmental. And I had to learn this a long time ago because, I have to deal with a lot of people all over the world, and not just since the Zoom started, but, for years now. And everybody is different. And some people I agree with and others I don't agree with. But when it comes to this meditation, it doesn't matter if I agree or I disagree. The only thing that matters is my job is to nurture people and to try to love them and nurture them and provide Shakti, be a vehicle for Shakti that can ultimately help them build a place inside themselves where they don't have to live in a world of rightness. They don't have to be defending themselves all the time. And I think this is a major thing to learn because all of this judgment and rightness and who's right and who's wrong, it just winds up creating war and battles, not only wars in the Ukraine and Vietnam and all these places, but in our families, with our friends, where we work, on very mundane levels. There's endless conflict with other people because of this thing of agreeing and disagreeing.
Now, there are people that they enjoy doing evil things and doing harmful things.
Yeah, I know that, Paul. I absolutely know that. So what we need to do is allow the harmful things they do when they try to do this personally to us, they have to bounce off us. Look, I've been through that. I mean, I was told by a psychic that if I don't continue and really build my system inside, I had 3 months to live. People were doing all kinds of black magic and crazy shit to try to really hurt me. And then ultimately, I went to my teachers, and the answer was, forgive them. Forgive them. They have no idea what they're doing. You have to forgive them because you need to move on in your life. And until they can learn how to transform all of that anger and that ego and all that crap in them. And they said, the world is, this is what we are up against every day in life. People that are so shallow and so, full of themselves that they project darkness and evil on other people. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Our job is to get stronger than that. Our job is to learn how to forgive those people so that we can move on. That crap is not going to stop. It's simply not going to stop in the world. And unless we learn to get transcendent and transform it in ourselves, it gets us caught up in all the bullshit of life. And years ago, I realized it's not going to go away. No matter how much I'm right and I disagree with what people, it's not going to go away. If it doesn't come from here, it's going to come from there. I have to get stronger than it. I have to build in myself a system that can transform all of that garbage into my spiritual life. And once you manage to do that, understand, it doesn't matter what people say or do. It just never stops all that external madness. It never stops. We can stop it in ourselves by building a system that we can transform the negativity into a spiritual life. And I know that's pretty daunting, that all that craziness, all those politicians and greedy people with money, and it doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped in my lifetime. It only stopped for me when I stopped, allowing it to affect me. When I didn't have to know better, and I said, okay, I can transform that into my spiritual life. I can get closer to my enlightenment by transforming that kind of energy and not allowing it to drag me down and not allowing it to, like vampires, consume all my energy. In one strange and crazy way, it's just another test we all have in life. Can we ultimately learn how to transform? Rudy always called it, compost, Compost, stinks, but if you put it in a garden, you get great tomatoes, all of that nonsense stinks. But if you learn to transform it, it will create a spiritual life in you. And it certainly won't suck you dry. It took me a long time to learn this. Not the logic of it and understanding it, because it made sense to me when I was younger. To learn how to do it, that was really what took a long time. And I realized early on, Stuart, you're not going to learn how to do this unless you build a system in yourself that's strong enough to do it. And all the picketing and all the, okay, there's levels that attract. You need that, but that is not going to help you or me get closer to God. And it also never really changes anything. I thought in the 60s, when they got rid of all that segregation, the Vietnam War came to an end and all, somebody would have learned something from all that. And in the world today, it's twice as crazy as it was in the 60s, the stuff that is going on. Nobody learns. But that doesn't mean I can't learn and you all can't learn. I picketed years ago until I was blue in the face, yelling and screaming, make war, love, not war. It was just endless, And, and why is it, 40 years later, the world is more, 50 years later, the world is as crazy or not more crazy than it was back in the 1960s? And for only one reason, people are trying to fix what's out there. You're not trying to fix what's in here. And until people begin to fix what is in here, the world is going to be crazy, because what is out there reflects what's in here. And if what's in here is crazy, what you're going to have in the world is that kind of craziness. And then you have, I'm right, you're right, I conflict, battle, who's right, who's going to defeat the other, and, and then all of that crap, that, the spin, that's the worst part of it all. Everybody justifying what they're doing and trying to make it sound right, that we're doing is right, the other guy is wrong. It's just a madhouse, it's a sanitarium. And nobody does the one thing that can really fix it inside themselves. Fix themselves. Get grounded, open your heart, get a quiet mind, begin to receive real knowledge and wisdom from God, from spirit, from infinite energy. Be balanced inside. You understand? Learn how to use your sexual energy in a way where it gives you a spiritual life. And it's not used to dominate other people and to hurt other people. All of that is part of the inner development of the human being. And if there's inner peace in people, there's going to be peace around them. But the problem is, there's 16 people. So we live in a world of 8 billion people. And very few people learn this kind of thing, That's why they say in the Bible, many are called and few are chosen, They say it in the Bhagavad Gita too. Many are called, everybody's born, everybody has an opportunity to have a spiritual life. And a handful of people in every generation learn what it means to have a spiritual life. So I don't, honestly, Paul, I don't know what's right or wrong in this world, but I do listen to life. And I let life teach me what I have to do to grow. And I think that has been, for me, it's been a lifesaver. It's transformed my inner life. It's transformed my connection with other human beings. It's enabled me to live in the world and to be, a happy person, to be, not content, but have joy in my heart and love inside me and compassion for the problems in the world. And try, sometimes I judge, I'm human also, but try to do it as little as possible. Does anyone else have a question to ask?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just have an announcement which doesn't really concern most of you, but it does concern some of you, The last, actually, 5 days, I had COVID, and I got it at the retreat we did. Somebody, God bless them, they didn't do it intentionally, brought COVID to the retreat, and I'm working with everybody, and I got it. And I didn't have any symptoms, thank God. I'd been vaccinated and boosted, and I had it once before. So there were no symptoms. I had no fever, I had nothing, you know, but I had the virus in my system and I couldn't go out because I didn't want to give it to anybody else. So what I decided from now on, you know, I was really a little bit upset and I said, you know, I'm going to stop in-person classes, who needs it? But no, I'm not going to do that. For those of you that want to come, you know, and a lot of you live in Israel, you live in Europe and Brazil. But the one thing I'm going to ask if people come, and I really mean this, is that every day that you come to a class in my apartment, you that day have to be tested for COVID. That's the only thing I'm going to ask. I don't want people bringing COVID into my apartment, although they're not going to do it intentionally. You know, they have to be tested before they come in the apartment. And I'll test myself because, you know, look, I'm not immune to it either, you know? And I think it's the only way I can do this. And if people don't want to do that, then I'm not interested. It's a disrespect and it's a bringing your guru COVID, you know, is not a good idea, you know? So I'm just going to do that from now on. And if we're going to not start, I'm going to start the classes in not this weekend, but next weekend, next Saturday. And I'm just asking people to do that. If you come to New York, you're going to spend 3-4 days here, a week here. Every day you have to test yourself to come here. I mean, I tested myself on a Thursday, it was negative. I tested myself on a Friday, I was positive. You know, so I just don't want to get this again. I don't want people inadvertently bringing it. I don't care if you're vaccinated, I really don't. Because today in the world, it doesn't matter anymore. I only care that you're tested that day. that day, you don't bring COVID into my life or anybody else's life that comes to the classes. I mean, I used to have rules like you got to be tested and boosted. I don't care anymore because it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that people get tested. Not that they're vaccinated and boosted and all this stuff.
It's 2 o'clock.
That you do to protect yourself. So in case you do get it, it's very mild. It's very mild. You're not going to have, like I had no symptoms, you know. So I hope that's clear. Starting next Saturday, I'll start having in-person classes. And I'm just asking people to do that. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, well, everybody, God bless you. Thank you. And I'm very grateful to be sitting here and learning from all of you. Your questions, your presence is an amazing thing that's helping me to grow in my life. And one thing I do understand is that if I understand anything, you know, every class gets me a step closer to what I've been born on the earth to do. That's to get my spiritual enlightenment. Your presence here is a big step in that, and I'm just very grateful to everybody. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.